Peace, love, and blessings, fam. Johnny Sally here with day number 27 of 60 of Wisdom of the Ages by Wayne W. Dyer. If you've missed the previous episodes, you can go check them out on YouTube at Loyalty Life, spelled Lyfe Legacy LLC. Day 27, Nonconformity. From Walden. If a man does not keep pace with his companions, perhaps it is because he hears a different drummer. Let him step to the music which he hears, however measured and far away. Henry David Thoreau. Henry David Thoreau was Harvard educated, but chose the unpopular career of writing and poetry to satisfy his soul's urge. A force in the New England transcendentalists, along with Emerson, he loved nature, freedom, and individuality. I like Ralph Waldo Emerson too. The one comment that I am most pleased to hear from those who have read my books or listened to my tapes over the years goes like this. Your words finally reassured me that I am not insane. All my life, people have been telling me that there is something wrong with me for the way I think. Your words made me realize that I am not crazy. I think that it was in reading Thoreau that I had the very same kind of epiphany. I have often imagined myself in the shoes of Thoreau, living simply and deliberately in the woods, being self-sufficient and writing down what I felt most deeply in my soul. But more than writing it down, the idea of living these ideas, regardless of how others perceived me or reacted, seems somehow noble. Within each of us, there is a voice that whispers, take the risks, pursue your dreams, live life to the fullest, as long as you're not hurting anyone else. Why not? Then, outside us, there are voices that scream, don't be a fool. You're going to fail. Be like everyone else. If you do what you want, you're being selfish and hurting others. How many of y'all heard that before? For wanting to live your life the way you want to live it. These loud, incessant dictates of our companions urge us to keep up with them and threaten to ostracize us when we fail to do so. I have observed that society in general always seems to honor its living conformists and its dead troublemakers. All those who have ever made a difference in any profession have listened to the music they hear and proceeded independent of the opinions of others. For doing so, they are labeled troublemakers, incorrigibles, even misfits. Yet, they become highly respected after transitioning. This applies to Henry David Thoreau, who was vilified for his position in his essay on the necessity of civil disobedience and jailed for refusing to obey what he considered absurd rulings. Yet today, he is required reading in virtually all high schools and universities. The beat that you hear within yourself is your connection to your soul's purpose. The beat you hear within yourself is your connection to your soul's purpose. If you didn't hear that, the beat that you hear within your soul, within yourself, is your connection to your soul's purpose. It will continue to plague you when you ignore it or suppress it in an attempt to conform with society. Those who implore you to march to the beat they hear are often well-intentioned and come from a position of love for you. They will tell you, I only have your very best interests in mind, and I am the voice of experience. You'll be sorry if you don't follow my advice. You listen and you try so hard to be just like everybody wants you to be. Yet, that nagging drum beat that no one else seems to hear faintly thumps in the farthest reaches of your awareness. If you continue to ignore it, You will live a life of frustration. You may even learn to suffer in comfort, which is the very best you'll be able to achieve. Thoreau is speaking directly to you from the mid 19th century about your own self sufficiency and happiness. Whatever it is that you feel compelled to be or do is the voice of your soul pleading with you to have the courage to listen and act on the melody that only you hear. As long as it does not interfere with anyone else's right to pursue his or her dreams. And so it is with those around you who are also hearing a drumbeat that is foreign to you. They too must be allowed to step to the music they hear, even though it may sound strident and off-key to you. If everyone marched to the same music and no one ever strayed from that conformity, we would all still be living in caves and preparing the same old recipe. Take one whole buffalo, skin it, burn it, and devour it. Progress is the result of individuals first listening to what their hearts tell them and then acting on those messages despite the protestations of the tribe. In my own family, we have 8 beautiful children. Wouldn't it be nice if they all attended my lectures and decided to pursue my interests and then took up my cause after I leave this plane? But my wife and I both know better. Some of the children couldn't care less about my passion. Some of the children cannot seem to get enough of it. Some want only to ride horses, and others want only to sing and perform. One child loves economics and accounting, and another advertising and skiing. They all hear their own drumbeat. And in some cases, it is definitely far away from what I hear. I must honor their instincts and their choices, and merely guide them out of harm's way until they can be their own gods. I have always marched to my own beat. Most frequently, it was inconsistent, not only with my own immediate family, but with my culture as well. I've written books that defied conventional psychological practice. I have said in my books what my common sense told me, even when it varied 180 degrees from current popular professional wisdom. I could never find it in my heart to preach to my listeners to do it my way, when I've always pretty much ignored what was being preached to me. Imagine yourself walking through the woods with Thoreau back in the 1840s before the Civil War. His observations were based not on some philosophy he had read or heard, but on his own direct experience of feeling the outrage of conformity and seeing the horrors of how Native Americans were being treated by the white man. He knew that the popular practice of removing Indians from their lands was our very own Holocaust. So he left to live in nature and experience self-sufficiency away from the pressures of the larger group. He did not keep step with his companions, and at times he was criticized for it. Yet, time has revealed him to be one of those troublemakers we revere. Walk with Thoreau in your own mind. Listen to the voice you hear and the drumbeat only you can feel, and honor it while honoring it in those you love as well. It is the ultimate act of unconditional love. While it may not get you any awards while you are alive, you can take comfort in knowing that you fulfilled your own divine purpose and encouraged others to do the same. To put Thoreau's advice into practice, 1. Refuse to evaluate yourself as sane or insane on the basis of how you fit in with the expectations of those around you. If you feel it and it harms no one, then it is authentic and very sane. 2. Remind yourself that you will have to incur the misunderstanding and perhaps even the wrath of those in your immediate tribe for having the temerity to march to your own drumbeat. Don't take it personally, even for one moment. It is merely a strategy to get you to conform, and when you fail to react, the wrath will quickly disappear. And 3, allow those in your immediate sphere, family and friends, to have the joy of blissfully marching to their own beat without having to explain or defend their choices. You will be substituting peace and love for anger and resentment, and all will enjoy the original music they hear. Whew. I'm pretty sure that a lot of individuals that are here right now listening to this are black sheeps of your family community, or we hang with a lot of black sheeps that just rock to our own beat, especially in the sense of the spiritual community. I myself was raised to be a people pleaser, and it wasn't a conscious thing. It wasn't that my parents chose to. It was just, I was raised with the mentality of making every place I left better than I found it. And that goes with people. I started to learn that my mother raised me that way in an attempt to teach me how to be more caring, more loving, more understanding. And it was also to facilitate certain needs within herself that she had that might have gone unmet. All in all, it wasn't done purposely. But I was still walking to the beat of somebody else's drum. It coincided with mine at times, but the older I grew, I started to understand that that beat wasn't for me. I like fast, high-paced beats. I'm always on the go. A lot of my friends be like, bro, you robot, man. You go to work, you come home, you stay up till 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, do whatever you need to do. You get back up at 5:30, 6 o'clock. And, everybody doesn't or isn't able to function like that, but it's what works for me. So, what works for you? Are you practicing the spiritual practice you want to practice? Or are you just going along with the flow because you don't know anything else? I think the real thing is a lot of people buck conformity because they're still trying to understand who they are. So it's like an angry teenager trying to understand themselves. And even though we, parents, may be giving them sound, clear guidance, they themselves have to experience it themselves. And we've brought them into this physical plane in order to experience those things. I know I'm working on healing my ancestral traumas in my blood lineage, my blood lineage, on my mother and father's side. But being that, like he said, I have 8 children. So what about their mother's side? It's only so much I can do on my end. My children are going to have to be the ones to step in those places to heal those traumas. But before they get there, they're going to walk to their own beat. And all I can do is let go of the reins and say, hey, you got to live your life whatever way you live it. And that's the truest form of unconditional love. Yes, we might butt heads. And yes, there might not always be agreements, but the love is still always there. And you can love somebody with a long-handled spoon and let them walk to their own beat. If the beat is too tumultuous with you, or the beat gets to going crazy like that blue guy that rap like Courage the Cowardly Dog, you ain't got to listen to it. You got your own beat playing in the background. So, I want you to understand and find that beat within yourself. And know the choices that you choose, once you begin to be obedient to what you're being called to, the doors are going to blow completely off the hinges. I myself am watching so many miracles take place in my life just by being obedient and following the beat that I'm being led to. Sometimes that beat get real intense, and I'm like, bro, this is a wild vibe. Why I gotta do this? But and listening to the beat, I have found a rhythm that I refuse to let go, and I choose to share with the world. I do this because it brings me joy. This is another way for me to share a healing energy and direct it to individuals. I call in Reiki to send out every time I do one of these videos, and I hope you receive the benefit of it and accept it. Watch the way your life begins to change, because I know the deities that operate in my life, and I know they are real. It's not a doubt. I have no doubts whatsoever. So I need you to understand and have no doubts about yourself, and that you have a beat that is unique to you, that is your heartbeat. Your rhythm is your own. Follow it. Walk with it. Walk in love. Walk in light with that beat. Walk in peace. And know that you are loved.